Hi, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Jennifer Piper here, coming in from Kamloops, BC, up in Canada. And I have my good friend, Dr. Phil Sleds, who is, I was going to say Arizona, Phil, from Austin, Texas. I was totally going to say Arizona. My brain is not in Austin right now. You guys are jumping in. Say hi and let us know where you are coming in from. We are super excited, you guys, because we're here today to talk about protein, which I don't know about you all, but like I never realized how much of my adult life would be talking about protein, looking at where my protein's lacking. Like, if you feel me, put it in the comments. But it's just such a huge thing right now. And, especially as we get older, I'm entering my 50 something year here. And, it becomes more and more of a focus. And I will say that I'll speak to the ladies first that, a lot of women, especially, are really missing that the appropriate amount of protein in your diet, right? So, Dr. Phil, you think about protein much over there?
A lot more than I used to, and I knew it was important. And I guess you're right, Jen. It's the big talk. It's in like everything, right? We figure things out. We've gone through all these different dietary adjustments where eating fats was bad, right? Remember we said don't eat fat, and then what happened? We ended up becoming a heavy society, with blood sugar issues because we focused on non-fat things, which drove us into process. So we're going back now to protein. We're talking about that and just how important it is in so many different aspects of our health for our longevity. How muscle now is considered an organ. We've talked about it that way for our healthy aging, but weight loss, but energy. And we're going to talk about a lot of things that maybe you didn't know that protein touches in your body as far as giving you a healthy metabolism, why you need it.
I love it. And I will say that I would say that my background, I've really eaten fairly healthy my whole life. I've exercised my whole life. And when I actually started measuring it, I was under eating my protein. And if you would have asked me prior to me measuring it and tracking it, I'd say, no, I get 120 grams a day, easy. Well, you guys, I wasn't. And so it was a really big eye opener for me. And I started, really tracking it and paying more attention to it, when I was experiencing more hormonal things going on. And, you reach a certain age, you start to lose muscle mass if you're not really careful. And so, I was doing all these things that were good, lifting weights, getting my steps in, eating well. And then it was a girlfriend who actually started working with a nutritionist, and she had her macros all worked out. And I was like, what are you actually supposed to eat? And she sent it to me, and I was like, oh yeah, for sure I'm doing that. And then she's like, have you ever measured it? And you guys, that is not my skill set. Like, I don't love measuring anything, but I did it for a week just to get a handle on it. And I was like under eating it like crazy. So, once I started shifting that, now I make it a priority, right? Like every single day. I make it a priority. So, like, why do we need protein? Let's start there, Dr. Phil.
Let's jump in. My experience with protein was first when I had a lot of health issues coming out of the Marine Corps, and I didn't realize how important amino acids, right? Amino acids were in detoxing my liver, because liver was so imperative for your health. And that's what opened my eyes. We can do things with protein with quality sources of amino acids that we just can't do by eating a steak, by eating chicken. Now, those things are important. We want to do things with diet, but we need that diversification of purified, highly purified, quality sourced amino acids to go in and do all these little specific jobs. So I just want to paint a picture, you guys, because a lot of people can think, well, I eat protein because I want good muscle mass, lean muscle mass. But it does a whole lot more. So we know that we have 9 essential amino acids. And with the 9 essential amino acids, if you want to drop that in the chat, 9 essential amino acids, we can basically build the other 20, the other 11 for a total of 20 amino acids that the body uses. Now, some sources say 21, but 20, that's fine. And basically these things can form all the the critical proteins in our body. Now, I believe that what we're going to find out is that our body can use even more amino acids than what we thought, because this is kind of older information and we just keep breaking through and discovering more things in health. That's the thing. And I think we know that there's about 500 different amino acids. And one of the things that Jen and I enjoy has over 162 amino acids with the 9 essential amino acids. But let's just talk about those. Here, what do they do in the body? Well, we already know that they help with certain things like blood sugar levels. Okay, you're putting protein in the body, but it helps activate certain B vitamins that help manage. Protein does, like alanine. That's an amino acid that helps do that. And carnosine and B5, they help out with blood sugar levels. These amino acids work with the different vitamins in your body. They give energy to the brain, energy to your nervous system. That's important. Some amino acids are ketogenic. They help us burn fat, like leucine and lysine. Okay, and Jen and I are big on leucine and having things with extra leucine, as she talked about. It helps with hormones, hormone formation, hormone structure, stress management. That's a big one. How many are dealing with, they want better stress management? Okay, raise your hand, drop that in the chat. Things like taurine, okay, tyrosine and GABA help out with that aspect of our health. Thoughts and mood, very important. What would be phenylalanine and tryptophan there? So being able to have good cognition, be able to have a healthy mood. We talked about liver detox, okay? Cysteine, glycine, glutamine for that. They help pull toxins out of the body, package them so you can get them out of the body. Gut health, that's another big one that amino acids help drive. Providing energy, not like an energy like a stimulant like caffeine. So if I had that comment come up, not like that, but stamina energy, okay? Giving us the ability to do tasks both physically and mentally for longer periods of time. Prostate health, ladies, if you got guys around, or guys, if you're watching this, prostate health, very important. Amino acids help play a role in that. They help you look younger, okay? Stay younger looking. We're into that. Talk about that. We're all into that. Glycine, that helps out with collagen and tissue repair, protecting your heart. Again, taurine and glycine. Immune system, okay? So you guys get the picture. Lots and lots and lots of stuff here. And I could go on and on. The sulfur-based amino acids really detoxify, but that's the important of the amino acids. That's an important role that they play in the body. Go ahead, Jen. Do you want to jump in there? Oh, amino acids. Talk a little bit about that real quickly, the amino acids versus peptides too, because we hear a lot of those terms.
Yes, let's finish there, yes.
Okay, so I'll put that up right now. So in the world of protein, you really have the building, I'm all about trying to get the best building blocks in. So protein's important, right? Those are the bigger structures. Then the next size structure down in the world of protein would be peptides. Okay, peptides, they're smaller components. So several peptides are lumped together, formed together to form a protein, okay? So that's how peptides fit in. So protein's the largest, then peptides would be in the middle, and then the smallest component, the smallest building block are amino acids. So you take groups of amino acids and you put them together and that forms a peptide. Now, for me, when I want good quality protein in my body, I want to focus on amino acid sources. Why? Because peptides are important, don't get me wrong, and then having the final product of protein is important. But when you get a peptide, you form it together, okay? Like collagen. Collagen's a peptide. It's a type of peptide. It's good. Does the body need it? Sure. But it's specific and it's kind of limited. It can only kind of do a couple of things. It can't do all the other things. Whereas when you get good quality amino acids in, you've got all the building blocks to form and go, oh, I can do this task. I can do that task. So you turn into a powerful, healthy multitasker with all these different critical things going on in your body with quality amino acids. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes, I love it.
Good job.
Well, and the thing with protein too, so when I was really tracking it, I have a thing where, I was just getting so sick of eating chicken, you guys, like maybe someone can relate. I like cooking chicken and I will eat it right after it's cooked. I do not enjoy it the next day, and then I was finding myself struggling. And I mean, I'm not a vegetarian, obviously, if I'm eating chicken, but I can't imagine if I was. But I was finding myself really struggling to, get enough protein in my body. So I started supplementing with protein shakes, right? Like to me, as a busy person, it's just such an easy way to knock out, 50 grams of protein in one shot without me having to cook chicken, salmon, steak, that sort of thing. And so it was really hard for me to find a protein shake. And actually, I've tried a lot. I've tried pea protein, I've tried whey protein, I've tried the one that I liked prior to this one was like a meat-based protein, but it was hard to find. I could find it at like one gym place in town, but not all around. And again, a lot of them I found made me bloated, made me feel icky, essentially. And then I don't know if you guys have been watching, if you're watching the news at all, but they just came out with like basically check your protein powder. So this is Dr. Phil. I've been seeing it all over my news feed where they went and looked at like all these different protein powders and found a ton of junk. And so then I was thinking, okay, well, maybe that's why I was bloated. And, a lot of them have fillers, a lot of them have all the things that aren't good for us. So, we're out here trying to do our best in the sea of supplements, which is, such a crazy world right now. We're trying to do our best. We're trying to figure it out, eat our protein, and then you think you're doing something good by taking your protein powder, and then you find out, oh gosh, it's not. So let's talk about like cheaper kind of protein supplements that are out there, and that whole thing that just came out last week.
Yeah. Yeah, where the Jen and I were talking about this, they've had several studies on this, and like anything that becomes a fad or anything that becomes popular, you're going to see more of those types of products or thing or whatever that is. Just like with collagen, Jen and I have been around collagen a long time, so we migrated to the most awarded, most clinically proven, most studied, most purified, highly purified, non-toxic, safe. It's used medically in Jen's country. Source of collagen, and we're big on that for our protein too, since we use it a lot. I use it daily. Jen does too. And one study found, it was through the Clean Label Project. I'm on EWG, so if you guys aren't on that website, if you're into health and clean living, it's a very good website. It stands for environmentalworkgroup.org, EWG.org. But they share a lot of studies. So they had this study through the Clean Label Project. It was a food transparency nonprofit. So no special interest here. Recently tested 160 products from 70 of the top selling protein brands. Top selling. And the results showed that 47% of these products exceeded the California standards for safety guidelines for toxic metals, specifically lead and cadmium. And you don't want that in there. Cadmium's very bad for the nervous system. Lead, of course, lots of problems there. But that's what they found. So again, you can't just go for less and think less is more.
You can't. When you shop on Amazon, I mean, a lot of people will buy these types of things on Amazon, and you don't even know sometimes where you're getting it. It's some reseller. I'm always like, I don't even know if that's the real stuff. So I will say that is one of the big reasons that when I started, let's talk about our shake actually. So one of my most favorite things is when I started actually with this new brand that we both partnered with this spring. So they have this amazing shake, and it's called the Life Shake. And you guys, it's a pea protein. So I was like, oh no, there's no way. Those usually don't sit well with me, but I'm a big proponent of trying things. And I read all the ingredients, and I read how clean it is, like no sugar, no seed oils, like none of the bad stuff that you shouldn't be ingesting, and that will sometimes set off that inflammatory response and the bloating and things, but all the good things. And then I started reading about, again, Dr. Phil talked about leucine. And, again, I'm not an amino acid expert, you guys, but once I learned that, this Life Shake was non-inflammatory, that really checks off the box, because I find that pretty much every single woman I run into, and men too, are dealing with inflammation. Right? Like we just are. Then I found out it boosts the GLP-1, which is like, think of the way I think of that, you guys, your natural GLP-1, it's like your fullness hormone kind of thing. So it boosts that, and it has all those amino acids along with leucine that Dr. Phil talked about, which helps people maintain their lean muscle. So ladies, I'm going to specifically call you out here. This is where, good protein. I don't know if I just went away there for a second. Choosing a good protein supplement has all of these things in there is important. So let's talk, you talk the science with it and like some of the results with this one product. I call it my longevity shake, you guys, because I take one every single day without fail.
Yeah, it's a great tool. I love the flavor. I was pleasantly surprised. Sometimes I was, I'm trying things when you're getting ready. So it's like, oh man, shakes I got to have every day. It better taste good. They nailed it on the taste. I'm more of a chocolate person. But this shake that we use, right, like Jen said, it's non-inflammatory. It boosts the GLP-1. It's the statements on the bag. It says in 30 minutes. So if you guys have seen any of the ads out there for Wegovy or Roe, Rybelsus, what's the other? Ozempic, of course, that's the big one, right? You see these ads, those are GLP-1 mimickers. They call them receptor agonists. So they act like it, but they aren't GLP-1. Whereas this actually creates, this shake, this protein, the mechanism here actually activates GLP-1 in your body because it's only made in one area of your body. If you want to dump it in the chat, it's made in the gut. And if you want to do this, this is why we remember it. The L cells, everyone likes the L on the forehead, L cells of your gut are where the GLP-1's made naturally. And like Jen says, the net effect is, hey, we don't have these hunger cravings. It helps with blood sugar stabilization, it helps satiate us longer, feel full longer, because half of the weight loss battle, a big part of it is just not having to run to the refrigerator for the junk. Like, the jelly donut, you're thinking about it, and like, I can't get it off my mind. You got to feed yourself nutrients. And it's got things in there that help support the gut microbiome. That's incredibly important because you need a good, healthy gut microbiome of critters, good bacteria in there, as opposed to the bad parasitic form. So there's certain fibers and things in there to help the good guys grow. And that in turn nourishes your body, but it also helps with the gut-brain axis. So again, you're not getting a warped signal up to your brain telling me eat more and eat more crud. You're going to eat more of the good things because you're nourishing your body. Helps with metabolic health, helps support hormone levels. That's big. Helps support the heart, brain, and immune system and bone health. There's all kinds of stuff in here. And I'll just say a little bit about some of the things that they did. And Jen, you can elaborate on this too. They did a study on people with healthy weight, on a healthy weight program, who replaced 2 meals a day with the Life Shake and followed a 40-minute exercise program twice a week. Okay. They gained 3.7 pounds of lean muscle. That's right. That's good. They lost 14 pounds of fat. These are averages. Okay. And overall, they lost 10 and a half pounds. But it does not stop there because the benefits keep going if you use it. Jen, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, so this is what we're seeing now. So, I have a lot of my clients who've been on this for just the 6-month mark. So again, they continued that whole thing, doing the Life Shake 1 per day, continuing with and 40 minutes of exercise twice a week is pretty minimal, I would say. So they maintained the weight loss for the 6 months. They continued to build that lean muscle, which is key, and reduce their fat. And I'm seeing this in my clients as well, which has been really exciting. Is, some of my clients, that's the only change or addition that they're making to their current supplement regimen is adding the Life Shake. And again, it's working. And for me, you guys, like, I look at it as it is the one good thing I put in my body every single day without fail to kind of like, it like jump starts my protein tracker, my protein, because I try to get at least 120 grams a day. So that's hard for me. So, I would shake once a day. I actually prefer the French vanilla. It is delicious. Love it. And it tastes good, you guys. And again, remember, I'm the girl that pea protein is like, ew. This is it's actually the world's first pea protein shake, which is really cool. And then it's been obviously revamped and updated over and over and over. But that's something that I found cool. It was like in the 60s. They started coming out with this, which I thought that was so great. So I have some of my older clients who are like, I remember that. My mom used to take that. Or, the lady would come to our house and sell this to us. So that's one of my favorites and non-negotiable in my day. I kind of look at it as the same as my Liquid BioCell, non-negotiable in my day.
That's a good non-negotiable. And guys, here's the other thing too, is that it has some other sources of protein in there too. Again, non-inflammatory. And you're getting all 9 essential amino acids in there and more. So you're going to be able to build all the critical proteins. So remember, the 9 essentials got to cover that. And guess what? A lot of people worry about, hey, if I up my protein content, because they're thinking mostly meat, I'm going to eat mostly meat. Well, you get protein from a lot of different sources, like Jen said when she tracks it. Maybe I'll stop up. Maybe I'll back up. They're thinking digestive tract, constipation, right? No, you're going to actually, with this is one of the things I love about the shake is it gives you a big dose of fiber. There's a healthy serving of fiber in there. So as we take good things in, we also want to eliminate. That's important. So we're putting things in our body that keep that going, which is good. So you don't have to worry about that. Yeah.
I love it.
Got some good testimonials here.
I know. I just read the comments. I'm like, yes, it's all I use too. And again, I was so thrilled.
One more thing while you're putting those, if I can just add this, guys. Jen and I, we talked about that study, worrying about the toxins, lead, cadmium from that study they did of the top protein products. So Jen and I really take seriously working with companies that have a high standard. So what we like with this source and the things that we're talking about has a 3X organic standard. That means whatever they test for USDA organic here in the United States, which is the highest level of purity that you can get, the company goes 3 times beyond that, testing even more additional things, assuring non-inflammatory, safe chemicals, any suspect chemicals, things that could be toxins or perceived like that, additives, fillers, glues, you name it, they're pulled out. So I just want to throw that in there.
I love it. I'm just reading how everyone likes to prepare their shake. I do the same, Dawn. That's what I had for breakfast today. I did like a really great high protein Greek yogurt. So I mix my shake ahead of time with a little bit of high protein milk. So it's kind of liquidy. And then I add my yogurt and some berries. And you guys, I am full. Which very excited. Okay. We want to switch gears and talk about our other favorite new exciting protein.
We're cheating, we're drinking it right now.
Yes, might see us sipping on it. Yep. So we got to experience this in June. And then I actually was part of the test group, you guys. So it's sparkling, meaning it's like fizzy. It's so delicious. So I was part of the test group that got to test this. And so, we did a 1-week test group where we basically had to drink 1 can, empty stomach, so that you could really kind of like test some of these stats that we're going to put out here for you. And then measure your levels of fullness, of hunger. Some people were sleeping better just from like using this all week. And so we launched this amazing sparkling protein beverage. Now, I'll tell you first what I love, and then I'll let Dr. Phil talk science. So again, for me, like today, I've had the craziest busy day. I ran nonstop all day. So I had my Greek yogurt with my live shake this morning. This is now so that I'm not eating chips or something that's not healthy before dinner. Because after this, I have to do another meeting and then I go for dinner. This works really well for people who are on the go. This works really well for people that you struggle getting your protein in there, right? Like you can actually get 40 grams of pure, beautiful protein. We're going to talk a little bit about how we source it. It's only 160 calories. There's only 5 ingredients, you guys. And there's none of the bad stuff, right? So there's no sugar. We use monk fruit. It is delicious. And it also is like a treat. I always joke that this is like my pita, but way better for you. And that's exactly how this tastes. So this has been an incredible product. And there's a lot of really great science. And the big one for me, you guys, is it actually boosts your natural GLP-1 by 47% after taking it. So let's talk a little bit about this beautiful can of goodness. You guys, everyone's like, I'm having a can right now. I know. Go ahead, Phil.
Everyone's free mine. I almost got mine down the wrong tube. Sorry about that, guys. 40 cans is pretty amazing. 40 grams of protein in just 1 can. And I was worried about, my first impression was like, if I eat anything with that much protein, it's got to be thick, like a shake, like Jen talked about Life Shake. I do mine with actually kefir, which is kind of like pre-digested yogurt milk with a banana. And I love that. And that's, like you said, I feel full. This also is like, okay, sparkling, is this going to be like sparkling water? Sparkling water doesn't fill me up. I got to try this. And it does. And it's got a great taste. It's bolstered with natural lemon. It's got 40 grams of protein. And what they showed is that in the studies, the clinical studies, is that the amino acids in this, of which there are 162, write that in the chat, guys. This source, it's called BLG. Okay, BLG, I'm just going to leave it short because it's a big mouthful of a word. It's purified, non-allergenic. It's removed all the allergens from it. Okay, source of amino acids. So it has all 9 essential amino acids. It's actually got 162 amino acids in it because of the source. That's in the the peer-reviewed research. And it elevates them. They showed when they studied the people, they took the blood level of the amino acids. They showed that they kept increasing for 2 hours by 291%, a 291% increase in blood circulating amino acids that your body can use and take in and use for everything that we talked about at the beginning of this live, all the critical things for protein. There's no fat, there's no lactose, sugar, things are gonna irritate your tummy. Healthy carbonation, that is something that is super important. And I want to talk to you about that just really quickly, guys, because we see like, again, when something comes popular, guess what? Everyone else wants to make something or make a knockoff or a cheaper version. We already talked about the detriment of that. We're seeing these products creep in with a couple things that are what I call no ingredients. And if you want to write these no ingredients into the chat, that would be good. One of them is sucralose. Okay, sucralose, it's a sweetener that's not considered healthy. It has restrictions on it in Europe where they limit or restrict it from children. We find there's lots of studies showing that it disrupts the gut, disrupts the microbiome, could possibly, they're still studying it, could possibly lead to other health complications. So you want to have things that are sweetened naturally and safe. And I think we use monk fruit in this, which is really good. The other thing is carbonation. Carbonation, because we don't really think about that. Like, are there different types of carbonation? Yeah. And so using natural, safe carbon dioxide is a good way to go with this, with your sparkling waters. I'm seeing this another brand out there that's pretty common that I have friends going, hey, what about this? Using phosphoric acid. So phosphoric acid, now I don't know what they put in the sodas up there in Canada, Jen, but down here they use it as a cheap carbonator for a lot of products down here in the United States. Coca-Cola, Pepsi, anything like that. And phosphoric acid is highly acidic. It robs and leaches your teeth, your bones from calcium. It totally throws that acid base pH off in your body, so it messes up your pH, the phosphoric acid, and it's pulling that calcium out. You don't want that. So that's not a good, but it's used because it's cheaper. It's also boosted, maybe Jen wants to talk about this a little bit more, with extra leucine. And again, the GLP-1, they showed it increased 47%. And it got a quick absorption because it's a liquid in the right form in the first 30 minutes. So you're feeling the effect soon, but it's not a spike per se. So it drops. It actually continues to go up gradually then over the 2 hours, that 47%. Jen, what would you like to add?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, so when I drink this, you guys, I am full. Like, yeah. It is so sometimes I'll take half a can and have like a salad and chicken, and that's my lunch. I'll take a full can when I'm on the go. This has been a lifesaver though for me, and so I tend to drink it like 2 to 3 times a week. I have clients, so some that drink it. I just had a client who she ordered 2 cases. She's like, I want this all the time. But the boosting the leucine again helps with maintaining that lean muscle, you guys. So now imagine if protein is a struggle for you, right? So you have your Life Shake that has all of, again, boost GLP-1, has the leucine, has all the amino acids, good gut health, and then you can supplement a couple times a week with this. So it's been a really great addition. And I will say, you know, protein is a thing right now. I don't know if y'all have watched, the Starbucks has protein drinks now. You guys, it's like 40 grams of sugar or something ridiculous. So make sure that you are an informed consumer. Don't just buy something from Costco, from Starbucks, because they tell you it's protein. Like, you have to look deeper, you guys. And I'm just saying, if it's cheaper, there's usually a reason. But this has been incredible. The fact that you can get a 5-ingredient product with no sugar, 40 grams of protein and only 160 calories is spectacular. You know, again, we go if you have any more questions, make sure you reach out to whoever shared this with you. We've got a really great flip book that goes into the science a bit more that I would encourage you to take a look at, because it has been incredible. But this has been our new launch, you guys. It has been amazing. And I think I love it. Well, I love it just because it fits into my life so well. But I love it because it's different, and just the quality difference compared to anything else out there, you guys. Like, you want to make sure that you're paying attention to the quality of what you're putting in your body.
Yeah.
So you're going to want to make sure to connect with, obviously, whoever shared this with you, because they can hook you up. Phil.
And I just want to say, so when you combine sugar with that kind of protein, it makes it harder for you to digest the protein. Guys, remember this, if you want to write this in the chat. Protein, of the macronutrients, carbs, fats, and proteins, you cannot store protein. You cannot really store protein. So you got to be giving yourself quality protein throughout the day. You can store carbs. You can store them as sugar. You got sugar stores in your body. You can take, everyone knows we can store fat. Shouldn't have to talk about that one. That's what we're all kind of working against, right? You can't store protein. However, if you do combine and get too much calories with that protein source, guess what? Even though there's protein in there, your body's going to go, we'll take the protein then and convert it into sugar. So it's like, you don't want that, right? You don't want protein being converted into sugars. You want protein going into those key things, functions in your body, muscle, all those other things. And that's how you want it hanging on your person. So, yeah.
I love it. I love it. Well, you guys, we've touched a little bit on like why protein, how it's important for so many different areas in your body, how you might likely be under eating it, because it is hard to eat that much chicken. I'm just saying, and a couple ideas to supplement, right? Again, I'm big on
Froze up.
really working, filling in the gaps and kind of working on. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
Filling in those protein gaps with something that's clean, that has research behind it, and that works. We have multiple studies. So make sure that you connect with whoever shared this with you, and they can get you a hookup and get you more information. Thanks, Dr. Phil.
And one quick thing, and thank you, Jen. Awesome job, by the way. And it's the thing that you're getting here at these protein sources is, again, the diversification of amino acids. That's critical because, like Jen said, with chicken, beef, hey, I eat all these things. I like salmon. I like trout. You're getting basically in those foods a couple amino acids, and you're getting a big dose of one or two. But again, that diversification is what's needed to manage stress, to help with the hormones, to help with the gut, to help with all those different things that we talked about earlier. Go back to the beginning of the Zoom because it's going to be recorded. That's why you got to have a supplementation of amino acid source. I'm a firm believer of that for good health. So right in there. Yep. And we got some more good stuff to talk about. I know we're short on
Yes, we do. We're back.
We got some really big goodies. If you guys are into anti-aging, stay tuned. We got more things to touch on. So
Love it. Okay, you guys, have a good night. Bye.